Now go to Director Panos.
Well, Chairman Cardin, Ranking Member Kramer, and members of the subcommittee, I'm Bill Panos, CEO of the North Dakota Department of Transportation. And at the outset, I want to express our department's appreciation for Senator Kramer's work on transportation issues. Let me also note that the transportation departments of Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming have authorized me to advise that they support my written testimony. Mr. Chairman, you're among the co-sponsors of Senate 1202, Chairman Carper's Reconnecting Communities Act. That legislation underscores that sometimes a transportation investment does not turn out well as was hoped when it was conceived and built. More specifically, a number of disadvantaged communities in large urban areas have found themselves divided by limited access highways. So today, we discuss what should be done going forward to address situations of disadvantaged communities that want better connections or to be reconnected. I'll begin with the rule setting. Upgrading a narrow two-lane road that connects to a tribal nation can make a difference. A modern two-lane road with standard width lanes and shoulders and a third lane at appropriate points for turns or passing is much safer. It also shortens the trip to a job, a school, or a healthcare provider. Making the same kind of improvement to another two-lane road can help a farmer move crops to a grain elevator more efficiently, which is important as farm operating margins are so thin. Rural roads are also used by buses, which are another tool to improve connections for disadvantaged individuals and families. In short, improved connections are needed by rural communities, including disadvantaged ones. State DOTs like mine help address these issues with highway and transit formula funding. Strong formula funding will enable the states to continue to address these situations and help people. Legislation should also make clear, if clarification is needed, that formula funds can be used for projects to address the divided urban community situations that are front and center at today's hearing. So eligibility and strong formula funding will enhance the ability of states to address these urban connectivity issues quickly. Regional issues should also be considered. If an interstate system highway through a city is proposed to be effectively severed, will there be consideration of whether that leads to backups on the city's beltway or bypass highway? Will that mean increased air pollution elsewhere? Consideration of those factors could lead to win-win solutions. For example, a decision could be made to cap rather than remove an interstate system segment that would enable walkable and drivable community connections above the highway without a break in the interstate system. Before closing, I'll comment on funding. I've already mentioned that strong formula funding and flexible program eligibilities enable a state to connect or reconnect disadvantaged communities in rural and urban areas. But formula funds do more than that. They help improve roads, bridges, bike paths, sidewalks. They pay for safety investments. They can also be transferred to transit projects. Formula funds are delivered as projects quickly. Discretionary programs, however, can't be deployed until after program rules are established, applications sought, applications prepared and filed, applications reviewed by USDOT, and a decision made on awards and a grant contract finalized. As formula funds are so beneficial, it is not surprising that state DOTs have broadly advocated that 90% or more of highway program funds be distributed by formula. 90% itself is down from an estimated 92% of FAST Act highway funds being distributed by formula. So it is noteworthy that Senate 1202 would provide $15 billion over 5 years for a non-formula program to fund reconnection projects. $15 billion in discretionary funds is so large that to maintain a highway program distribution with 90% formula funds, one would have to pair these discretionary funds with an additional $135 billion in formula funds. So the overall funding approach should not de-emphasize formula funding. Lastly, but importantly, as described in my written testimony, we support a range of actions that can help advance equity for the disadvantaged and disadvantaged communities. That concludes my statement. I'll be pleased to respond to questions at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Director, thank you very much for your testimony.